How cute is that damn Grogu, man? It's
Cutest
just not
little thing.
fair.
Yeah, no.
He's so cute that I'm surprised Pablo Hidalgo hasn't taken underhanded shots at him.
So obviously, there's been some new current events, and I'm sure a lot of you are here for the tea, the scoop on Pablo Hidalgo and everything like that. I said what I said in the video. I mean it, and I do think that everyone, especially people in high points of power, should be held accountable for the things that they say to the people who are really supporting their projects. I have seen that he did make a, by the way, he's been reaching out to me today. He reached out to me, with a very loose email. Here's my number, call me. Lucasfilm themselves sent me an email. Hey, there's a misunderstanding. We want you to call us. I haven't replied because I just haven't felt like there's really anything to be said. I feel like, when you say things, it's out there and it's done. And for me, I said what I said in response to that. I gave Pablo, 6 hours to explain what was going on before, uploading anything, posting anything, jumping to conclusions. And when he got wind of that, he posted the entire tweet, which, was on a thread that was all about mocking me and making fun of me, as his Twitter banner. So I took that as, okay, well, this guy's really pushing, he's really just doing something that's not cool, and you shouldn't be doing that to a fan, regardless of anything. So I made my video, and I stand by it. So that's that. And that's how I feel about it. I do realize that he has gone to apologize. Where was that yesterday? Where was that yesterday when he didn't post that on his, before he posted it on his Twitter bio? It just is weird to me. And then I'll show you guys on screen here. This is his actual Twitter. Okay, and then this is the one from yesterday. Look at the numbers of the followers and the following. It's still locked. He's just changed the name, and then here is the actual fake account that he's actually gone and supposedly, he just rebranded or something, but it's completely not the real account. His real account is still here. It still exists. So for me, this is all just like, man, what are you doing? It doesn't come off as sincere to me, and I'm not the type to just be like, okay, well, now that you reached out because you are, who you are in establishment that I respect so much and has impacted me so much as a kid, I'm not just gonna, bend over and fall over and be like, oh, okay, sure. No, man, like, it's not cool. So I'm just happy that, we're going forwards with Star Wars, and we have Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau who are helming this beautiful story and carrying on the legacy of George Lucas, and that's all I care about. So hopefully on to better days. What do you guys have to say about it?
I think the thing that I want to say, there's a couple of things I want to say. The first thing that I want to say is that I am very angry, but I'm going to try not to actually be angry when I talk about this, because I think if I were to just get angry, it would sort of dilute the messaging. It wouldn't allow for what I'm trying to explain to get across. So I'd rather actually explain why I'm so angry, but I don't know what's going to happen with this podcast. We'll see what happens. I might boil into it and I might get angry. And I think the main reason for me personally why I'm so angry is because right now Star Wars is sort of turning around, right? And we are in a much better place as a fandom. And that's awesome. And there are a lot of people that have worked very hard at Lucasfilm to create that, to make sure that that has happened. There have also been a lot of people that have worked very hard at Lucasfilm during the duration of the sequel trilogy that have had to deal with things and basically backlash from people that are either above them or just loud on social media that have caused waves between fans. Pablo, this is not even close to the first time that he's acted like this, and I have a couple of stories of that I want to share. I have to keep things vague, but I actually do want to share some stories, because if it comes to literally talking about this man's credibility, I saw a lot of people trying to say Pablo's a good guy, Pablo doesn't deserve this, but it's a misunderstanding, it's all just wit, it's all just dry humor. I 100% disagree with that evaluation. He has shown again and again what kind of person he is, and that is in the face of people at Disney that are literally going through some very hard times. Some people even losing their jobs, right? So I don't even want to get as fired up as I could about it, but I just think for this guy to be playing the kind of game that he is playing and being so careless when so many people have it so hard, and Star Wars fans have had it hard. And this guy, I don't know where I'm pointing here, this guy has literally done a better job at the public relations of your own fandom than you have. And not only does he not take a check from you, but you try to prevent him in some ways from doing all that he could. So it's frustrating to me on a lot of different levels. And I think people that are saying that it's not a big deal are not thinking about it. It is a big deal. That's what I think.
Thanks, Josh.
First of all, I think you make an excellent point about the responsibility that Star Wars Theory has taken upon himself to be an ambassador for this brand in its purest, most like authentic and genuine form. And when you express yourself in the most genuine of ways, you're not afraid to let your emotions out. You know, there's a great scene in that movie with Joaquin Phoenix where he plays Johnny Cash, Walk the Line, where he's in the studio and he's like playing a tune and the guy recording him doesn't love the tune. And he's like, if you just got hit by a car and you had to play a song for God so that you could stay on this world, what does that song sound like, right? And for you to be able to dig deep and really connect with an audience, you have to tap into your emotions in an honest way. So what really angered me about this whole thing was the message by the quote unquote head of the story group, okay, that emotions are not meant to be shared, which I know he has since tried to walk that back. But brother, you wrote that and then you put it as your banner on your Twitter account. Obviously, that message in its pure form is what you wanted to get out there. And it was based off the fact that, much like all of us, when we saw what we saw in that season finale, it was an emotional thing. And to express that emotion with the fans was the right thing for Theory to do, and the important thing to do, because we all felt the same way. So it's like when you hear a John Lennon song and you love it, it's because he's putting his heart and soul into it. He's sharing his emotions with the audience. And for somebody who's supposed to have a position of power at Lucasfilm Story Group to say that emotions are not meant to be shared is so contradictory to everything that art stands about, so contradictory to everything that I know Theory stands for, that it's just really insulting. Forget the fact that you're making fun of a grown man in tears. I've been in tears many times. It happens. Sometimes your emotions get the best of you. But to even put the sentiment out there as a representative for the most powerful IP company on the planet, that emotions are not meant to be shared, it was really, I think, extremely tone deaf and in very, 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 very bad taste. Mm-hmm. You know, that's kind of my initial reaction to it. And, you know, a big reason that I wanted to come on today is that I want to make sure that it's very clear that I don't want Theory to censor his emotions, because then he wouldn't be Theory, you know? And like, if some people take hits at you for being who you are, then it is what it is. But like,
I don't care about that, man. I don't care about that. I care about the officials, man. It's weird, you know. It's weird to see that, and it's not okay. And I've seen him supposedly do this in the past to many people, and I didn't talk about it. I didn't make any mention of it. I was doing my thing, and the way that I make sure that I know when to strike is by really waiting and observing until it's the right moment. And this was the right moment for me to fight back. And remembering all of those people and standing up for all of them. And I even gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I waited for that. And then he posted on his Twitter banner, no. You're not going to play me like that. You know, it goes too far. It's not cool. He reached out to me, email this morning. Why couldn't he do that yesterday in the 6 hours that I gave him when he saw the tweet, and then he decides to just add insult to injury and put it on his ban? I mean, what is the point of that? What is the meaning of this?
The real rub, I think, is that Pablo, from what I understand, and yeah, we're going there. Pablo, from what I understand, is more or less not really anybody at Lucasfilm. He's not really anybody at Lucasfilm. He's one of 4 people he shares the title with. He has a senior in his title because he's been there so long, but he literally is the same position as Matt Martin. He also has 2 people above him, you know? So it's funny because all of those people, here's the thing. My point is this: all of those people are now possibly having to deal with a bunch of stuff because of this guy, because of what he said, because of what he did. And it's not just this time. It's been many times that he's done this. And other people have to feel, there are people right now that are super stressed out about this whole situation, and rightfully so, because it looks super bad. And I just say to everybody that there's literally only one person we all need to be pointing at in this situation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've all been wronged.
What I struggle with is the message of emotions are not meant to be shared is the probably the worst lesson that you can impart on a susceptible audience. And then number 2, like Theory is saying, to kind of double down on that and then not really give an apology until you have to, because the pressure from your bosses is so extreme that you have, people, emailing Theory all day to try to, calm the situation down. That's when you have guilty feelings. That's when you want to repent. And look, I understand what pressure is like. I've been through that stuff myself, so it's always easier to judge when, the shoe is not on your foot. Yeah. But the message itself is so bad.
It's almost like specifically bad. It's almost like he picked the worst possible Star Wars thing you could say.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he was like, how can I, like, literally reverse engineer.
Well, look, and I've seen his, before he went onto a blocked account or hide his comments, which, why should you have to do that if, you're okay with everything that you say? For him to go and do that, it's just, like, what you're doing. And he's been doing this kind of stuff where he's been jabbing at fans for a long time. My way of dealing with that is by, some people want to go out and fight constantly every day and make every video about that. I want to go and make good content. I want to give you guys an escape. I want to go and put my entire life on hold to give you guys a fan film, to give you guys a cinematic. I'm stopping everything I'm doing because I'm so passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about the people who support me and are there for me. And I do it for them, and I do it for myself and my own dreams. So
Amen.
A lot of people deal with things different ways, and the way they attack things isn't necessarily by talking about it or ranting and raving about it and making it about them. It's about their way of dealing with things. And finally, when the time to strike is there, you best believe I've always taken it with everything I've done on this channel. And this is another case in point of that. So I just hope that this can be buried and we can move on, and he won't speak to anybody with any sort of a condescending tone ever again, or make fun of them for their views or whatever. No matter if they are being toxic, no matter if they are being volatile towards him, he is the king. He is in a position of major power, working at a place that we all wish we worked at, doing things that we all wish we could do. And we're just here enjoying the content that him and the company are making, and he's out here throwing jabs left and right. Like, dude, what are you doing? Focus that time on making cool stuff. Come on, man. These are the people that, in essence, are keeping the lights on over there, right? Yeah. We're the ones who buy your merch. We're the ones who pay the bills there. Don't treat us like this. That's not right.
Like, what are you meant to believe? Are you literally telling me that he's sitting there being like, here I am, Pablo Hidalgo, completely absent-minded of my impact on talking in this thread. Here I am, Pablo Hidalgo, completely absent-minded of the possible consequences of, you know, no,
No,
dude,
no, no.
he's Pablo Hidalgo, the troll. He's Pablo Hidalgo, the one that's been doing this for 3 years. That's who he is. If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it is a duck.
Yeah, that's the whole power responsibility thing. You're absolutely right. And it's like, this guy's a role model. This guy touts himself as the Yoda of Star Wars, as the Indiana Jones of, you know, like as the art, you know, as the archaeologist of the Star Wars lore. Like, he holds the magic key, supposedly getting phone calls from Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams late in the night to ask him the truth about the Star Wars canon. And it's like, yo, dude, like, no wonder. Yeah,
how'd that turn out?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, if, you know, like if these, yeah, it's just, it's a bummer. And you said it so well, man. Like, this is the most powerful IP company on the planet. And if this is the kind of leadership that's in there, it makes sense why everything feels blah. And then you have Filoni and Favreau stuff feels great.
It's divided within the own camp, within their own company.
I'll just be honest with you. I don't do reactions live and that much anymore, and part of the reason is because there's often a wave of negativity that comes in when you present any kind of emotion or vulnerability, or like if you're really in the zone, sometimes you look stupid. You know, I'm just gonna be honest. Sometimes I look stupid when I'm watching Star Wars and I'm really into it. And to have
bring it on, man.
To have people that, in general, to have people that come in negatively towards that is horrible. But to have people that are holding the shield of Lucasfilm, the insignia,
right?
Oh my God! There are thousands of people that are about to lose their jobs at Disney that did nothing but come in and work hard and give their best day in and day out. They kept their head down. They did everything they were supposed to do, and now they're not going to have a job. And this freaking guy is going around acting like he's invincible, not giving a literal F about the damage he is causing. It's a nah from me, fam. And I don't even want to go too far on it because it's a nah from me, fam.
Yeah, and look, again, to double down on what Mark said, we're not trying to get anybody fired. We don't believe in that. We don't condone that. You know, the guy's obviously doing fine work at Lucasfilm, but it's his interactions with the fandom that needs to change. That's all we're saying. That's all that needs to be fixed here, is that he needs to realize the way he talks to people, because he's coming from a position of power, his little jab of tweet or whatever, it comes in like a heavy punch. You know, it's more than you just get. I get trolls every day. I don't care about them. It's whatever, man. It's just shield. It's whatever. But when you come in there with your freaking gauntlet and your Infinity Stones and you pack a punch, man, like, you know, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. Well, it hurts and it's weird.
That guy's the imposter. Vote him out of the ship. And also, no. Look, I've said this many different times in many different ways. Pablo sucks. Like, he just sucks. He sucks as a person. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just don't understand people defending him. Period. The end. Period.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll.
Dude, the email he sent me wasn't even like. It was just like a. Here you go. There was no like, hey, I apologize for anything that you may have, even being like, hey, maybe you misinterpreted. It's like, no, dude, I didn't freaking misinterpret anything. You were being rude and mean. Okay, own up to it. But he's like, it's Pablo, call me. Like, what?
Yeah.
What kind of a genuine?
Like 5,000 people is what I'll call you.
What?
Buddy.
It's like, I'll call you live right now. Sure, no problem.
Yeah,
I'll record it. And if we do ever talk, I'm recording it, and I will make sure that I update all of you on everything that's said. There's no way that I wouldn't do that.
Look, man, I don't want to let this guy or this situation ruin the positive energy that Star Wars has right now. The fact that The Mandalorian Season 2 was fantastic.
Yeah.
The fact that we're getting all of these spin-offs and things are going in the right direction. And a lot of people are putting in such great work and sacrificing so much. So there's so much positive stuff to focus on.
100% agree, man. You know, everything was said, and I that's it. Let's move on.
Yeah.